Hi. I've been testing out the Sony again. I'm not happy. Right, the camera itself is good. I mean, it produces good quality video. The problem I have is that I'm a biker. I want to record my, motorcycle journeys. And the whole point of buying this camera was it had image stabilisation. It's not a cheap camera, this cost me 160 quid. I could have got it, I now realise, a lot cheaper on eBay. But there's so many sort of different ones, it was difficult to pick your way through. And I thought, well, I'll just buy it from Sony to make sure I get the genuine article. The problem I have, being a biker who doesn't want to attach it to my helmet because I don't think it's safe, and you end up looking like a tit, is the case. Right? The case, when you put your fixing on the bike, your thread to attach the camera to, and here's the one I'm currently using. The fixing is right back here. Right, it's not central in the case. And also, the fact that the camera hasn't got a tripod mount on the bottom of it. Oops! And you have to put it in the case to mount it in the bike. All adds height. Right, you're adding another, half inch there, a centimetre or something like that, to the height of it. And because this is at the back here, as you're going along, it allows the camera to do that, to wobble left to right. No matter how firmly you fix it to the bike, that is true. I mean, I know I've tried, believe me, screwing things up to the point of getting worried, and beyond a certain point, of course, there's no point. Okay, so you're going along, and the camera, because the thing is right, because the tripod screw hole is right at the back here, you're allowing it. It's just inevitable, and it's a heavy camera. This weighs quite a bit. This camera, and that all adds to the momentum. I mean, so you get the vibes building up. Right, I've just been out and tested it on its absolute maximum setting, which was 60 frames a second, 1080p, etc. The absolute maximum. I made dead sure the image stabilisation was on before I tried it, and it's still really, really vibratory. We'll have a look at some clips now, and I'll just show you just how it's no good at all for what I want it for. I'm not saying it's a bad camera, I'm saying it's no good for me. Okay, first off, I'm going to show you this bit in town, and look at the side-to-side wobbles we get, particularly after we've been over the mini roundabout at the end here. You can see it's starting to wobble side to side. Sometimes when you go faster, things smooth out. We'll have a look at that in a minute, but have a look at this. See, it's not what I'm after in any way whatsoever. Okay, let's try a bit of faster A road riding now. Sorry, this is a B road. This is the road between Breedon and Eckington. And we're going a bit quicker, well, a bit quicker than we went in town, obviously. And this road, the surface isn't bad, although it's quite windy, which is why I like it. But the road surface isn't bad. It's a bit broken up, but it's fine generally. Well, what passes for fine in the UK. And as you can see, we've still got tiny vibes. It's not vibing as much as it did in town, although it is still vibing. But we got the appearance. This is something I've noticed as well. You get the sort of the feeling that you're going forwards 10 yards, then there's a sort of slight pause. Then it goes forward another 10 yards, then it's sort of surging. Can you see what I mean? It's not entirely smooth. I don't think it is anyway. It's sort of like you're going forward a bit, then it sort of gulps, and then it sort of goes forward again. And there you can see the vibes over a bit of bad road surface. And as we're going along this straight bit here, you see, look how much it's moving up and down, which is undoubtedly not the camera itself's fault, but the mounting system and the fact you need to put it in a case, a waterproof case. It's not what I paid 160 quid for. And lastly, here's a little clip of going along country lanes. And on this bit, you can really see that surging effect that I'm getting from the camera. And of course, the road surfaces here aren't as good as the B road we've just been on. But you can also see here, I mean, the camera copes admirably with the darkness and light thing, going into the shadow of trees and coming out into light and what have you. It bleaches out just a little bit in the brightness. You see ahead there? There you got the side-to-side wobble as I slow down. But generally, you know, that's excellent for a camera. But it's absolutely no better than any of the other cameras I've had. And I'm pretty sure if I had the Mobius on here, which is as light as a... look at that vibe. As light as a feather, it would be a lot better. Right, so I've more or less decided to replace the Sony. I can't see any way I can get it to actually do what I want it to do. Despite the image stabilization, the point where it joins the case is just killed it for me. Right, so I'm going to replace it, I think, with a cheapo camera, a cheapo, you know, action cam that doesn't really matter if, you know, well, if I destroy it, really. And I went out and had a look for the cheapest, and it was down to two different models. The Xiaomi Yi and the Dasni P2. They've released a P3, but I don't think the video on it's as good as the P2, relying on Tech Moan's videos. And I went and had a look on eBay on the Dasni. The first one I looked at the Dasni, and as you can see, they were down to the last one, selling it for 25 quid. And if you look at the listings on the eBay page, you'll see there's people selling them for 80 quid and 60 quid. But I seem to have got the last one at £25.79. Trouble is, I got to wait for it to arrive from China. Well, I just ordered some new levers for the bike from China, and they arrived in a week. But we'll see how long this takes. It says estimated between 29th and the 19th of October. So it could be some time in the future. Okay, the other one I was interested in was the Xiaomi Yi. I probably pronounced that wrong. And the great attraction of this one is that the tripod holder is actually in the case of the camera. So, although it's offset to one side, it should be a lot more stable than the arrangement. The problem with the one I've just ordered, whose name now escapes me, is that you have to, in order to get it into a tripod, you've got that sort of, not case arrangement, but that thing that runs around the outside, and then you've got a tripod adapter on the bottom of it. So you've got the height problems. I don't expect the height problems to be nearly as much as they are on the Sony, because the Sony is a heavy camera. Really is heavy. So, but as I say, when I went and had a look on eBay, there was one left. Those 25 quid Dasni ones, and so I went for it quickly, because sort of saved myself, you know, 50 quid there. Although I got to wait. This is Xiaomi. They're all coming in at about 60, and as you can see, this one's in the UK, so it would have been here in the next couple of days. But I don't know. I think it's my Hong Kong childhood. When you spend your life, you know, bargaining for toys with stall holders, you're very reluctant to pay full asking price for anything later in life. The Sony being the big exception, and look what happened there. You know, it turned out to be unsuitable for what I wanted. So lesson learnt, Simon. Yeah, and that came. Yeah, as I say, those levers for the bike came within a week, and that was from Guangzhou, which is the old Canton, which is further up the Pearl River. From Shenzhen, which is usually the place you get things from. Shenzhen is just across the border from Hong Kong, and I used to look in that direction. We used to go up to the new territories and sort of look over China when I was a kid. In those days, all we could see was paddy fields. Now, of course, you see a super city there, complete with enormous skyscrapers. And here's your last interesting fact for the day. Shenzhen is sort of corruption of the Cantonese Shum Chun, which means deep ford. So, Deptford. Deptford on Pearl. Okay, well that's it. I'm going to struggle on with the Sony until the new one arrives. And until then, thanks very much indeed for listening.